Aha, welcome to another edition of KitSZN. Today we have ourselves a fun interview in store for y'all here today. But before we get started and bring out our guest here, I wanted to give a great shout out to our lovely patrons down below who help support us and allow us to do these fun interviews that we have in store. So shout out to John Hunt, Frank Anthony, Christopher Cohn, Harry Austin, John Fuller, Michael Boots, Joshua Duder, Noah Telford, Alberto Aguilar, Jeremy Churchman, Stephen Howard, Ryan Lacara, Tim Knox, NF Reg 30, MOS, Kunal Patel, All of the Hedgehog, Andrew Towsley, Matt Cat Peel, and Ryan Smeltzler. That list keeps growing, so we do always appreciate everyone for supporting the channel and allowing us to do the great things that we get to do for y'all. So, without further ado, I want to give a warm welcome to today's guest, Taylor Thomas, and from Sioux Falls City FC. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Excited to be here.
Yeah. So before we, jump right in here, can you give us just a little bit of a background on who you are in relation to Sioux Falls City and kind of get us started from there?
Yeah. So again, my name's Taylor Thomas. I have been with Sioux Falls City since day one. This is our fourth season now. And so, yeah, I've kind of been the lucky one who has gotten to build it and just kind of see it grow to what it is now. My two parents are actually the owners of the club.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And I kind of, again, the club is built through so many different connections. And so our sporting director, Joe DeMay, I have known since I was 13 years old. And yeah, and a lot of girls the same way. And so it's been really fun. And yeah, I've kind of been here throughout the whole entire thing. So
Oh, that's fun. And honestly, that's kind of a unique experience, I think, being a part of something, I want to say from the ground up, to
mhm.
seeing it where you are 4, 5, 6, however many years after, and seeing where you're at today from where it was when you started. And that's got to be exciting.
Yeah, no, definitely almost I always say like a full circle moment.
Yeah.
A little background on me. I grew up here in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. And I actually had to leave when I was 13, 14. That's how I first connected with our sporting director, Joe DeMay. He was working at Shattuck St. Mary's up in Minnesota, where they
Okay.
had a DA team. And for
Hmm.
me, in order to get the high level soccer that I needed to get, to reach my goals and do all the things, I had to leave and pack up my bags and kind of do the whole college thing for 4 years early. So for me, now being able to come back home and have high level soccer at the place that I had to leave because it wasn't here is seriously such a surreal feeling and super fun to be a part of. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's actually a thing that we've heard, not just from players, but also from people who are coming up with these teams are popping up. It seems like everywhere now
Yeah.
is that people are needing to go further or going away from their hometown in order to develop, and that just doesn't sit right with a lot of people,
Hmm.
myself included. So I'm glad that is kind of what's helping kind of the foundation here for Sioux Falls City because more opportunities,
Hmm.
not just for the players, but for everyone who's running it, doing all the fun stuff, especially me here on KitSZN, kit stuff, and like it provides that more opportunities, and it's also your local community, right? You're
Hmm.
giving back to it.
Exactly. And I think that's the biggest part. Our community plays such a massive role in who we are and what we do.
Yeah,
And yeah, Sioux Falls has always loved their sports teams. Um, and we knew that if we had a women's team here, that they would show us the love.
yeah.
And they have done that and beyond. And it's just been super fun to grow as a team and as a community year after year. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I honestly I love to see that. And also, fun little fact about me: my father actually born in Sioux Falls, so I have a little bit of a connection
Oh my
to
gosh, love
South
that.
Dakota a little bit, and I actually lived in Minnesota, so I'm very familiar
That's
with
awesome.
the area. So I'm very happy to see more teams, and
Hmm.
obviously, kid perspective, doing some good stuff with that as well.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Yeah. So yeah, and obviously, as I'm kind of alluding to a little bit, if I'm if I'm correct me if I'm a little wrong here, you do help or do the design of the kits, right?
Yes, just this year we
Okay.
have an amazing designer that we normally work with, and this year it came very organically. It was a very happenstance thing that put me in the position of kind of designing our kit this year.
Yeah.
Again, everybody here, we just kind of help out in any way that we can. And so for me, this past year, that's looked like helping out with some graphic design work for social media and doing that. And we knew that we were going to be having a new kit this year. And so for me, I wanted to make the graphics kind of match this new kit that we were going to be doing and kind of have connections with that. And so
Yeah.
just that landed me in being part of a meeting with the owners and our CEO with our designer, Arsenio.
Yeah.
And it was really just conversation about, what things are speaking to us right now, coming off of our last season, just like what do we want to take and just
Yeah.
everything that involves. And that kind of got me on sharing some ideas. And I basically left that one conversation, went into Canva, and I guess I was just inspired and had no intention of creating the kit. Actually, in my head, when I sat down and made this little design, it was just an idea for me to post on Instagram one day. And I went and I showed people trying to get the A-OK to do so.
Yeah.
And they said, "Oh no, I think I think that's it." And
Yes.
so yeah, very happenstance. But again, just super cool, and Sioux Falls City just provides those opportunities for players like me of, one little moment can turn into a super cool big thing. And
Yeah.
now it's kind of led into talks of future kits and us wanting to build um, a kit kind of made by the players,
I love that.
which you don't see a lot of the time. But
No.
again, Sioux Falls City just giving the players a voice. So yeah, we've talked about a player kit. We've talked about a community kit where the community gets involved. So yeah, just a lot of very cool things planned for the future that kind of just came off of this very happenstance moment.
I love every single thing about it because a lot of times when I'm hearing from some of my friends in the design field and then even from people in teams, some of this stuff just kind of is a happy accident. And it's
Mhm.
one of the greatest things that happen. Like, this was so cool, but like we kind of had to do this, but now it's like, let's do this again, but like a little bit less chaotically. But like, this is really cool idea. Let's
Mhm.
run with this, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I was just the lucky one to be in the room where it happened, I guess. I don't know.
That's awesome. Yeah, because my other co-host, Fox here, him and I are always exchanging like Canva designs all the time,
Hmm.
and like we love just, I don't know, for us especially, we're not designers, but just
Hmm.
having that idea that even like a player who has a bit of passion with the graphic design a little bit, or just some of that creative gene in them, just we're not all creatives, we all have that gene in us. Um, that it gets to turn out to be a kid, and that is honestly really cool to see, and I think could inspire even just the players, not just yourself, to be like, "Hey, this isn't just a kit that I get to wear that represents my community. This
Hmm.
is also a kit that I get to help design," and that
Yeah.
adds a nice little, I don't know, closeness with the club
Hmm.
and the people that you're representing, because now your stuff is representing your community.
Yeah, no, you summed it up so perfectly. And honestly, like our core pillars of authenticity, integrity, purpose, like I feel like that is so shown in everything that we do, but like specifically like this example of the kit. And
Yeah.
again, you talking about that closeness, like I think it really is just like the purpose, and it
Yeah.
adds so much more weight and meaning to the badge that we wear and the kit that we get to wear. And also like extending that out to the community
Oh yeah.
and also having it mean something more to them. And at the end of the day, we all get to share that collectively. And it's all of us, my shirt.
Perfect.
But yeah, it's just really cool. And again, me talking to the team about it, it's also a thing to them of like, we all have little unique talents and gifts. And I
Yeah.
didn't even know I was a graphic design person. Honestly, like when I stepped in like a year ago to help out, I hadn't even touched Canva one time. And now I'm like, dang, I'm a pro. Um, but just also like telling everyone else like a part of the organization who maybe thinks of their role as just like, oh, I'm just a player, or oh, I'm just a coach, or I'm just a
Yeah.
game day helper, that actually like here at City, you're so much more than that. And if you can use any strengths or gifts or have any ideas, then by all means, like they are welcome here. um
Right.
yeah.
And and I think that really last part really kind of hones in one of the things that we here at KitSZN specifically love to talk about is not just the impact of the community and what you can have on your community, and I think a kit can help represent that if done
Hmm.
right. But also it's all about a collaboration. It's all about like trying to uplift people and out it more into the kit specifically. So I think there's a great tie into what you're saying there with the new kit for 2025. But like everyone has something that they can contribute, and I think that is important to always glorify
Yes.
from the kit manager, the person who's going to running across the street to get maybe some Gatorade that is a little bit short, to the manager who's running the drills. So I think it's always important to help reflect that, because it's not
Yeah.
just the head person or the CEO or whatever, the front office's team, it's everybody's team. At least it should be, right?
Yes, no. And I think that, again, 4 years ago when this club was created, that was the foundation of it, is that soccer is for everybody.
Yes.
And one, everybody can enjoy the sport, and we want that, but also like it takes everybody to do everything. And again, like I know I've named owners and CEO and whatever, and that may make it seem like we do have higher ups or we have this hierarchy, which actually, at least how we run things here, like we don't. And that's talked about very early on every single
Yeah.
year with people. I know we start Zoom meetings as a team in February, and one of the very first things, we go through our expectations,
Yeah.
and the coaches put on their expectations for us players.
Yeah.
And the next slide is the expectations of the coaches. And those two slides are identical. And really to just show that, well, if I expect this out of you, then you can expect the same out of me. And it goes throughout everybody a part of the club. And it really does show that, like, a lot of people think, head coach or whatever is like way more important than even like a player. And here we're kind of like flipping that script of actually, like, both are just as valuable, and you need both people to make, things happen and get to the level you want to be. And so yeah, respect goes both ways, and for here, no role is more important than the next, no matter how big or small it may seem. And I think that that has been a driving force since day one for us, and it continues to be.
I love that, because those are the important pillars that you help build a long lasting impact on a community, because
Yeah,
or on a sports team in this case, because you know without having that sense of gratification, that sense of shared responsibility, something like one person can leave and that whole thing crumbles.
yeah,
But when you have that shared collectiveness and responsibility towards something that means something, it's a lot harder to tear down and to
yeah,
like fade away.
exactly. Yep. You keep preaching. You're like, just join our team, right? Honestly.
Hey, it's just what, an 8 hour, eight? No, it's further than that. It's like a 10 hour trip for me. It's not that bad. It's a super
Just
commute.
hop in the car, be here by late tonight. You're fine.
Well, what I do want to go into here, I want to pop it up here on the screen, is the Pathways kit. This is this year's kit. And before I get into more of kind of what you did to come up with this, honestly, one of my favorite kits of 2025.
Whoa.
It's amazing. I love it. The colors, the funness. If you couldn't tell by now, I love kind of fun looking kits, and I'll get into that. But one of the things that I wanted to um, highlight here is this phrase right here. I actually lost the words. There it is. Okay, and this kind of gets to the point of where you didn't see yourself as a graphic designer, but here you are doing a little bit of that,
Hmm.
and now you're designing kits.
Yeah.
And it's this phrase right here for the 2025 Pathways kit. We are all on our own path in life, but our paths cross on the pitch and in the stands cheering for our city. And I think that epitomizes everything that we've kind of talked about to this point is that we
Hmm.
all have separate journeys. And guess what? They all somehow overlap. And now we are all going to uplift our community and our club. And I think that is just a beautiful sentiment.
Yeah, thank you. And wow, just hearing that it's one of your favorites is crazy to me because that's just again never set out and never thought that one we would be talking right now talking about a kid I made to then it be one of your favorites. So yeah, it honestly was it's crazy to say, but
Yeah.
like one of the easiest things I've ever like put together. And I think it's just because there's everything that we do, like I've already said, like there is a purpose and there is
Yeah.
intention behind every single decision that
Yes.
is made. Um, and like same with the kit, like there are so many details of it that like it tells a story, and that's I
Yes.
think how people connect with it, where it gets its meaning, and the story is what drove everything. And honestly, I was just picking pieces to tell it. And so again, looking back, it took me not very long to put together, honestly. And then the rest of it was just the storytelling of it,
Yeah.
and getting everybody else on board to also share their thoughts and add to the story. Because as you just said, like we each all have our own, paths, perspectives,
Yes.
strengths and weaknesses and everything that makes us the human beings that we are. And it was important for me to again, like we've said, collaborate with the people
Yeah.
around me to really put it together. So
Yeah, and it kind of almost sounds more like obviously you did the main design, kind of put together, but thing that I've kind of always talked with my wife and my friends is that like sometimes when things are seemingly easy, it's because you're having fun doing it.
yeah,
And I think it's not seen as a chore, but you're like, hey, I'm fulfilling something that I want to be doing and not something that I'm being forced to do.
yeah.
Like I think a few weeks ago we had Cassie Sabinski who helped created the Minnesota Aura kits, and
Hmm.
that's one of the things that we talked about was it can't be a chore to have to churn out kit after kit
Hmm.
after kit. It has to be something that you really truly want to do because it's
Yeah,
art at the end of the day. And if you're not happy making that art, well, may not come out to be as good as it should be.
yeah, exactly. And I know for us, at least, looking back on the process of making all of our kits,
Hmm.
it has really just been the discussions of what's important to us right now. What Where do we want to go from here? And even the kit, our other kit, which is the Elevate kit.
Yeah.
Elevate has been a word for us very much last year. And that was kind of, the foundation of last year, and that we want to elevate one, just like ourselves as human beings and as players. Two, we
Yeah.
want to elevate from our season prior and we want to be better than that. Three, we want to elevate our community. Four, we want to elevate the game of women's sports in general and just sports and women empowerment. Like,
Yeah.
so much of, I think, where our kit designs come from is just really like what's important to us.
Yes.
And we let that lead the way.
Yes. Yeah, and I love that, and I've been going back to some of your previous designs, and as a team, honestly, they're some of my favorite, most bold kits. That's what I
Thank
love.
you.
I love it when teams are creative and fun, right? Because it's not just some mundane jersey you put on, as we talked about. It means something more.
Hmm.
And in the case of Sioux Falls City, I see I'm just looking at y'all's shop, trying to pull up the names of it. We have the Elevate jersey, the Pathways, the Equity jerseys, the I can't see other names, but like you can see those names have a bit of a purpose, and it
Hmm.
kind of leads into that, that mission of the club, and it's not just to provide, it's to provide that equitable access to the sport, to empower women, to give
Hmm.
them those opportunities in the first place, and in this year, providing, celebrating the pathways that everyone took to get to this moment. And
Yeah.
I love everything about that.
Yeah. No, it was just super fun again to be a part of. And when I've had to, get up and kind of explain it and give everybody the little spiel.
Yeah.
And honestly, the whole idea for me
Yeah.
came from a pre-match talk last year,
Okay.
from our very own Joe DeMay, who is is a pretty good little talker when he needs to be. Um, but I remember, and it was the match of us versus Salvo.
Okay.
And again, we were WPSL. And up until this point, I believe both teams were undefeated.
Ooh.
And this had been a rivalry for it's literally since year one. And it was near the end of the season, and it almost had that championship like weight to it,
Yeah.
where, only one team is making it to playoffs.
Right.
And this game is very much going to determine who that is. And the Joe came in and he told us everybody sees us as the target, which was true. And you have put yourself in a position where other teams view you as that. Except the thing is that we are not the target. Sorry, doorbell. He again flipped it of we are not the target, we are the arrow. And that just kind of like, whoa, I don't know, something about that clicked to me.
Yeah.
And he, in the way that he said it, it was like we we don't have a destination. Like we are limitless. And that just spoke true to who Sioux Falls City has been since, again, day one. Nobody would have thought that a team like this would even be a thing in in
Yeah.
this city, let alone reach the heights that it has as
Yeah.
quickly as it has.
Hmm.
So for me, that term and that phrase that I've kind of coined as "be the arrow"
Yeah.
has kind of stuck with me since then, and not just in the soccer aspect, but just in my life
Yeah.
of, you know be the arrow. Don't set a target for yourself. Go and just chase your potential. um and with that phrase, kind of, and I laugh when I tell people because I love my Disney movies, and I don't know why, but there was a moment where I thought back to the Disney movie Brave, where, like there, it's the bow and arrow, and
Yes.
there's this close up shot of the arrow, and you can see it moving up and down, up and down. And that, I don't know why it came into my brain when I heard this, but it just reminded me of, oh, be the arrow.
Yeah.
Be the arrow in your life on the field, but also being the arrow is an up and down thing.
Yeah.
And in order to succeed and in order to reach those steps, it's never going to go like this. It's
No.
always going to have twists and turns and right turns, and you may have to go full 360 and restart. And that very much led into me designing the kit. As you can see when you look at it, there are lines going all sorts of places and
Oh,
zigzags and again right turns and whatever, and that was very much to resemble our journey as a club, and again our journeys and our individual paths through life of it's never going to be nice and easy, and
yes,
for us, like, we don't want it to be easy, because if it was easy then everybody would do it, and doing the hard stuff is what makes us different because we want
yes,
to do it in a different way. And so, number one, you can see some arrows on the jersey that kind of resembles the "Be the Arrow" mantra that we've kind of taken in. And again, I kind of already hit on all the zigzags and the loops and the crazy turnabout that somehow works on this kit. And that really does resemble, again, like all of us. It
yeah,
is everybody has their own unique story,
yes,
um, and also it resembles our story as a club. And again, we see also when you look at it, like all of these lines are intersected and they go apart from each other. Some stay close, and again, that's supposed to resemble our path through life.
yeah.
And there are a few little tiny Easter eggs. I'm a Taylor Swift fan, so of course I had to put in my little Easter eggs, and we just love doing that as a club.
I love
Um,
that as a reviewer, by the way. I love little Easter eggs. So I do appreciate
love.
that.
Um, and it's harder to see on this photo, but if you get like a good up close and you take a look, there are lines that kind of tell the story of who we are. There are some lines underneath our big sponsor, Ophthalmology Limited, that kind of resemble the white lines of our Delta, and they
Oh,
go all throughout trying to also tell the story of like we each have our own unique path, and it intersected with Sioux Falls City. That's what brought us all together. Up closer around the Capelli logo, if you take a closer look, there's some lines that resemble a woman's face, the outline of a woman's face, which again, the very core of who we are and why this club even exists is for our mission of empowering women. Everything we do will come back to that. And so for me, that was a fun little thing to add. Um, if you take a look at the bottom, there's also some little lines that kind of resemble almost like destination points. Um,
oh,
and they carry on. That was for me when I made it. Um, a thing for me that like your journey continues. There is no end. Again, going
yeah,
back to the we aren't the target. We don't have a target. But also, I think it's important to along that journey, it's okay to take a sec and to appreciate where you came from,
yeah,
to clap for the things that you've been able to accomplish, but to keep going from there. And so that's what those lines represented. um, Also, you can't see in this photo on the back of one sleeve, there's some line work that resembles a soccer cleat. I laugh about it because it's kind of very basic and soccerish, but at the end of the day, it's what brought every single person here, and it's the beautiful game, and it's what brought every single person together, and it's why we do everything we do. At the
yes,
end of the day, I think it's important to remember that we just love to go kick a ball around, like we love it.
it's simple as that, right? We
it,
like
it
to kick a
is
ball. That's why we're all here together.
it really
Beautiful
is. And for all of us who have joined this organization, for all the fans who have come out, like they love either watching us do that, or they also love to do that. And sometimes it can be just as simple as that, and that's where the beauty comes from, I think. There's also, again, jerseys are jerseys, so sometimes things have to get cut off because of how, the lines and the seams have to
Yep.
be made. But there's also other little line work that is supposed to resemble two hands coming together.
Oh,
That also,
clever.
like so much of what we've already talked about, Brett, of just what we are trying to make here is an organization, a sport, an
Yes.
atmosphere, environment that is open and inclusive to everyone.
Yes.
regardless of anything. For me, I kind of like to say that we don't tolerate differences. We celebrate them.
Yes.
And I think that that has been a thing again since we stepped onto the field year
Yeah.
one. And again, we saw it with our equity kit, kind of
Yes.
taking it that. And even in that kit, and even in this one now, the lines are all different shapes and
Yes.
sizes, and they're all doing
Colors.
different things and colors.
Yep.
And that's also supposed to resemble us as individuals.
Yeah.
None of us are alike. All of us have our own stories and our
Yep.
own perspectives to tell. And they should be welcome. And
Yes.
actually the most fun thing is getting to share it with other people
Yes.
and learn from other people. So yeah, it's honestly, when I look at the kit, it is a massive celebration of honestly what we've been able to build,
Yeah.
um, and recognizing how we built it.
Yeah.
And it was through the people and the paths, and honestly, just the beautiful moment of our paths somehow crossing and coming together. Um, so yeah, it's a very surreal thing to be able to put it on, and it's already something to all of us to wear that crest on us, but to have also a kit resemble
Elevate.
something more. Yeah, elevate. See, even going back to our last year's kit. Look at you.
I didn't mean to do that. Yeah, perfect.
It adds so much more. And
Yeah.
I think when we do put it on, there's that feeling of pride, that we
Yes.
carry, because it's a weird concept of like, it is just a game at the end of the day, but for everyone involved in at least what we do,
Yeah.
it is so much more than a game.
Sports are a weird thing about that. Like from the
Yeah.
outside, everyone just sees 11 players, just like 22 players running toward the ball. They're like, what are they doing? But like all the work, all the effort of what that simple little game can mean to people
Hmm.
is one of the reasons I fell in love with the sport.
Yeah.
Because it's not just a sport at the end of the day. Yes, it is. But like it can mean a lot more. It can be that pathway. Yes, I'm being intentional there
Hmm.
for people to express themselves, to feel included in their communities where they may not have been outside of it,
Hmm.
provides them that ability to do something or what X, Y, or Z add to the list. It allows it's that vehicle to let them to be who they are. And I
Yeah.
think that is important from everyone, from the fans, as we talked about, to the players, the staff. And I think having kits that embody that spirit, that essence, is
Hmm.
everything that we here at the show love to
Yeah.
glorify. Because as we were going through those details, yeah, it's a little chaotic. I'm not gonna lie, it's chaotic, and I love that for that, honestly. But there's also I want to call it a method to the madness, but there's thought put into it because
Hmm.
a lot of decisions were thoughtful. It may not have ended how you wanted it to, but there were thoughts put into it. There's
Yeah.
details put into it. There's a reason that that's there. May not be a happy reason, but there is a reason that that was there on your path. And I think having that, seeing that, and knowing that that was intentional, some of the chaos, I love that, and it
Hmm.
further embodies what the message, which is important, of this kit.
Yeah. No, again, you are just hitting the nail on the head, Brett. And again, like that's the fun part, because
Yeah.
getting to share the story behind it, you have people who are then like, oh my gosh, like I resonate. Like that's
Yes.
so cool. And yeah, you are right. It is a chaotic, like, whoa, whoa, in your face jersey.
Yes.
And we also love it, obviously. Um, and it is something too, which another little thing about the kit, um, there's a little square on the back. Um, you can in one of the photos it's there, but it's actually in a way different color. It's in a light like neonish green.
Okay.
Um, and it has the letters FN. And
Mhm.
that has also become another little, I don't know, phrase that we carry with us, and it's a if you know, you know sort of thing. Um,
Okay.
but for us, that FN stands for forget normal.
Okay. I love that. By the
And
way, someone who loves to embrace not being normal or whatever you
yes,
want to call
what
it.
what even is normal, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And
Embrace it.
I know, like, through life, like, we've seen it since COVID, like, new normal, whatever. I've gone through things in my life where,
Yes.
again, my family just calls it, oh, like, it's our new normal. Let's just,
Yes.
and like, you can look at a kid and say, that is not a normal kid. And that's exactly what we love. And also, just we want to forget normal because, frankly, normal has not worked for women in sports. It hasn't.
Preaching to me.
It hasn't. And so when we set out to do everything that we've done, and even more so, like the dreams that we have for ourselves in the future,
Yes.
it was never going to be normal because normal has not given us access. It has
No.
not given us resources. It has not allowed us to play at our potential or be
Yes.
seen for playing at that potential. And so normal was not like something that we never intended to be. And I think that there's a lot of power when you just grab
Yes.
a hold of that and say, yeah, normal, forget that. Like, what even is that? We're doing things our way. And for us, we're trying to do it the right way.
Yes.
And the right way means doing all the things that haven't been normal.
Yeah.
We don't have hierarchy in our club. The players have a voice, have such a big voice. Like, we are the ones who create the culture of our club.
Yeah.
Again, just like all the ins and outs and the little tiny things every single day that are so like looked over so much of the time, like that's where I think we pay attention to the most. And that's where we at least see the change can be made there. And
Oh,
make the change and do everything.
yeah.
So yeah, that's also another little fun thing about the jersey that can be seen everywhere in our club. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Honestly, I heard this phrase, I think a few months ago, and it's one of my favorite phrases. It kind of alludes to like what normal is. For a lot of people, normal isn't working. And a lot of people try to, as I've heard the phrase goes, instead of trying to find a seat at the table, let's put our own damn table, as the phrase
yes,
goes. And I just love that. And that whole that whole ideology again, just what? Sioux Falls isn't normal. Sioux Falls FC is not
no,
normal. And I love that.
hmm,
Like, I like things where you can't just copy and paste it place to place. It is who you are, it is
hmm,
your identity. And your identity is different than a different club here in Indianapolis, which is where
yep,
I'm at, by the way. And so, what we can do here will be different. It'll be our own organic thing, but it's not can't copy paste it. And that's what Sioux
no,
Falls is trying to embody, at least what I'm picking up.
yeah,
And it's also a way from someone who has gone through past traumas, and I know a lot of people have,
hmm,
being able to move on from that and say, hey, this is the like whatever normal it was beforehand, guess what? This is remove that.
yeah,
It's life. It is what it is. And having that idea and that type of thing to help people be happy in who they are because of what happened in the past or that
yeah,
those the ways how they got there. And I think that is important for the players, club, community, and whatnot. And I just love that little Easter egg. I cannot wait to see that, by the way.
yes, yes. No, again, in the chaos, like there is a madness,
Yeah.
and it is the storytelling,
Yes.
and we just have a lot to say. So, but even just you talking about like tables and stuff, like another like connection, that's we end our every game with crowded table by Brandy Carlisle or whoever sings it. Like I think it's like the Highway Women or something.
Oh,
And it basically is saying like, yeah, like I want a room with a crowded table and in a spot for everybody. And that's what we try to embody. And again, that just goes to what you were saying, like it's so much more than the game. And I think soccer in general does a beautiful job of really laying out like that platform for people to take if they want it.
100%.
And I think that that's been something too that each of us have realized, like with the growth of this club, and we do have a platform and people are paying attention, and each of us can use our platform in whatever way.
Yes.
And also as a club, we get to decide what we want. And
Right.
again, going to it's so much more than soccer. Like that has made us every single home game, we have a cause.
Yeah.
And each cause is again chosen by us players. And so everyone who tunes in really gets a sense of what we believe in and
Yeah.
what we want to use with our platform. And it's super fun because again, happens so organically. We never set out and were like, hey guys, like, let's choose our causes. It kind of just it came. And us
Just
players
happened.
said, hey, like we want to stand up for this. We want to do this. And now it's something that I'm a member of the players council, and
Yeah.
I get to help kind of list a whole draft of ideas, and then it goes out to all of the players, and
Yeah.
majority rules.
Yeah.
And now when you guys tune in, and we just had last game, it was homelessness awareness, like you as fans get to know that like that's something that every single one of us chose to
Yeah.
represent. And it's super fun because there may be repeats every year, maybe something new. But it truly is like a testament of like who we are at
Yeah.
that moment, and what we care about, and also what we want to do with the platform that we have been given.
Yes, because one of the things that I always said, maybe some people don't want to be in the spotlight or
Hmm.
they accidentally got into that spotlight. But guess what? You now have eyeballs looking at you. And now it's important for you to represent what you want to represent, not what
Yep.
you want someone else to represent through you. So I think doing initiatives like that, putting that into your kits, into your I'm gonna call it DNA of the club
Yeah.
and your players, I think is mightily important. And honestly, just everything that I'm just learning more about y'all, and I love it.
Oh, I love it too. That's what honestly we want.
Important,
And
yes,
the more that we can just share who we are and share what we believe in, it is such a cool thing because
yes.
so many people believe in the same things. And part of it does suck because it sucks that it's taken us this long to get to have a club or have people be able to resonate
Yeah,
with a team.
yeah.
Um,
Especially
but
Sioux
again,
Falls.
that's
No offense to Sioux Falls. I never think of Sioux Falls as a large place.
no offense taken. But that's also so fun too. And as someone who, again, I grew up here, I had to leave here. Um, it's pride that I carry with me of like
Yeah,
I I'm getting to grow the game
yeah,
here. And I'm also it's a chip on my South Dakotan shoulder, that I've had to wear with me since I was little, and people asked me if I rode buffalo to school. And fair enough, fair question. But to now kind of be able to show that even little maybe like no name places, we we can ball.
and
And we have women come from all over the country,
I was going
all
to
over the
ask her.
world,
Mhm.
who do take a chance because guess what, they haven't heard of Sioux Falls, South Dakota either. And it's the coolest thing for me to see as someone from here,
Yeah,
of them come in and have that relationship with the community
yes,
fully take them in, and for also them as players to now say Sioux Falls is my community. And I think that's why we've seen, again, like we have the most returners we've ever had this year. We have more international people wanting, to stay here and to come from England or like very fun, cool places to little Sioux Falls, South Dakota. And
Oh,
it's because of what we've built in 4 years and
yeah,
because of also what I think every single player now gets to say that I was a part of. And
100%.
that's just honestly, I think the coolest thing because again, we've seen in such a short amount of time of us coming into the league as kind of no namers, as very much underdogs,
Yeah,
and go and within three seasons in the WPSL, we were champions. We were undefeated.
love that.
Every single year of our existence, we've been franchise of the year. And now this year to now raise the level and join the W League
Oh,
and
yeah,
hopefully go and show the W League what we got. It's a very cool thing that I think again, it's not just cool for me and cool for the players, but it's awesome for everybody to be able to tag along because they feel that they are a part of it.
yeah. And one of the things that I always love about having I'm gonna phrase it this way, smaller place like Sioux Falls, South Dakota,
Yep.
having a soccer team, you can then be like, hey, I can point to a map now and I know what's there. Like
Hmm.
there is something for someone like I didn't grow up there, who I can now say, hey, there's a soccer team there. I know what's there. I like
Yep.
you can this club allows that city and community to be put on the map. It may not
Yeah.
be national, but there are people who are now paying attention to it who would not have paid attention to Sioux Falls,
Yeah.
South Dakota. So, and I think that is important on top of everything else that we've talked about with the messaging, with these seriously gorgeous, fun looking kits, which got my attention here, being a kit man myself. Um, it can then lead to the end game, which is obviously you want people to embrace that and those um that character of Sioux
Yeah.
Falls, the things that you've built up, being able to be like, hey, I want to be a part of that community. I want to help them or I want to see them. I want to support them. And I think that is also as crucial as everything else that the club is doing. And obviously, I think y'all are doing a good job from what you're telling me, from what I've seen on and off the field. Honestly, amazing.
Yeah. Thank you. It does it means a lot. Like seriously, I know how many kits you've seen and how many clubs like
Too
you've
many.
learned about and yeah. And so to hear it, like it means a lot because again, like we do know and it's not a bad thing to say that like yeah, Sioux Falls, South Dakota, like huh? Like
Right.
and we are the first people to say that. And again, like our ambitions, woo, yeah, they have been lofty since the first day. Another
Yeah.
doorbell, nice. But and again, like the be the arrow thing of like we don't we don't plan on stopping just here. We we want to we want a tier one pro team.
Oh,
We want to even put our name more on the map. You say, oh yeah, like Sioux Falls City, maybe not nationally. Oh, just
just
wait,
wait.
Brett,
Just wait.
because again, that's something that it's such a weird thing because I feel like here in Sioux Falls, like we're so process driven, and so take it day by day. Do the things every day. Be
Yeah.
who we say we are every day. Show up and get better,
Yeah.
make better, do better every day. And
Yeah.
if we just do that, then the opportunities will come. The levels will raise, the
Yep.
awareness will raise. And we've already seen that as,
Yes.
we did take that like another leap this year. And I think the more that we can commit to just being who we say we are and every single day, which I think that we've done a pretty good job of, like more people like you are going to be like, wow, let me get behind them. Let me support them because yeah, we do come from not a very well known, not a big place, but also like that doesn't mean that that we're counted out.
Yeah.
And I think, I mean, there's so many places just like Sioux Falls that like you can pick out on a map. And I think it's also just showing like the next generation, or maybe the boys and girls who grow up in those places, of like, oh, like I am, like, it doesn't matter where I come from, or who I am, or
You can ball, you can ball.
whatever it is about me, like
Yeah.
I have a place here,
Yeah.
and I belong here in this sport as a supporter or a player or investor or
Yeah.
whatever you want to be.
Everyone has a role.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. That's perfect. Like, and I think having that messaging boldly presented from the kits. Again, I'm gonna keep emphasizing that I'm a kids show. From the kits, from the player initiatives, from the theme nights. I think that's super important for people to have that sense of belonging, because it's a sports team is as much as it is as long as they're attached to the community. As soon as
Mhm.
they get detached from that community, fans stop showing up,
Mhm.
regardless of how good or bad they are. They stop showing up or they stop caring. And I think continuing to try to have that, I'm going to say grassroots, and I think that is a perfect
Yeah.
kind of way to summarize what y'all have done and build your way up. You have that solid base. Y'all just didn't get planted there, but oh hey, there's not a team there. Let's just plant a team there because I just feel like it. This is a slow, methodical process to build something that honestly is empowering women, that is empowering the community and giving another sense of joy to all of those involved.
Yeah. You just keep talking, Brett, and I'll just keep listening and agreeing. And yeah, it is just that. And I know that we're also not the only team doing it. And
Yeah.
I think that that is honestly what is making being a sports fan like so fun right now. And especially like in the women side of things, like it's growing everywhere.
Everywhere.
And part of it is like, finally, about time. It's been like
Right.
this. Like, but again, just celebrating how far the women's game has come,
Yeah.
and how just like freaking awesome it is to be a part of it right now,
Hey,
and just to see
yeah,
the heights of where it can go.
yeah, and there's gonna be a little small, I would say, a little complaint on my side, because there's women's team popping all over the place, from the Super League to the only cover USL, from the Super League to the W League. Y'all have like doubled our amount of work for kits to rate the season. I love it because they all produce bangers, but like it's getting
You're
a little
doing a great
exhausting.
job. You're doing a
Thank you.
great job.
Yeah, well, we've already rated over, I think, I'm looking at my list here, like over 100 plus kits this year, and we still have like
Wow.
another 100 plus to go. So, yeah, we got 58 to go, and we've rated 83 just this season alone. And there's still a lot of
That's
teams that we haven't even
crazy.
touched.
So fun though. Again,
Thank you for that.
it doesn't feel like work if you love it. And yeah, hopefully
Fair.
hopefully us we can just keep on keeping you busy.
I do appreciate that. Yes, because hey, busy means more people are watching, which means I get to talk to more amazing people like you here,
Oh,
Taylor, and others
thank
across
you.
the USL. Honestly, it's amazing. I love it. And it's one of the perks of being able to kind of do what I do here, is to talk with people and to dig into the brain behind what we call kind of a chaotic shirt, but there's a lot more behind those scribbles and zigzags. So, um,
Yes.
yeah, I just want to say again, thank you so much. Is there anything here else that you wanted to talk about? Lovely conversation. Is there anything else about this kit or Sioux Falls? I know y'all got a match here upcoming against the Aura here in a few days.
Yes. Yeah, tune in everybody. Um no, honestly, I just want to say thank you for giving me and this kit like the platform
Yeah,
to share the story behind it, and to share what we do here at Sioux Falls City, and what it means to me, what it means to everybody involved. It's people like you who do kind of take the leap with us and who give us a chance to speak and to share our voices, that make it all happen. So thank you so much. And you're just part of the Sioux Falls City family now. So that's
Love
it.
that. Hey, I keep joking with my dad. I got to make a trip up to Sioux Falls because he got family up there.
You
Obviously,
do.
technically I do, just by association, I
Yeah.
guess. And now I got another reason. I got to hit up Sioux Falls City. Got
No,
to do
you
it.
do. The games are so fun. Honestly, so fun. The fans, the atmosphere we have, honestly, nothing like it. So definitely recommend coming in and getting in a game. Definitely would.
Well, I do also appreciate the little bit of validation. It always feels nice when people appreciate us trying to help talk with them. And as someone who did this 4 years ago, I didn't think I'd be lasting 4 years. So being here
Hmm.
where I am also is a nice little validation. So
Yes.
all
Yes.
the praises all around for everybody on the show. It's like the Oprah meme. You did a praise. You did a praise. You did
You.
a thank you. Whatever. So um yeah, honestly, I'm doing a Midwest goodbye. I don't know how to end this, so that's usually what happens on
Yeah,
this
I'm
show.
the same way. We could be sitting here for hours. So
Yeah, it's middle of the day, it's just how it is, it's
yeah.
not there's other stuff going on, right? Plans.
No.
I just keep talking. That's how it is. That's probably why I do this. Anyways, yeah, so once again, huge thank you to Taylor for designing a great kit and joining us here on the show. I will definitely let y'all know when we release our this video here and tag y'all, get y'all all the love that the great folks up there deserve for what y'all are doing. And if anyone has any questions, comments, you can always send them our way. And since y'all got our email now, are always open, always available to have y'all again next year. Anything comes up,
Yes.
we're more than happy to. This is a great conversation.
Oh yes, this is just an annual thing happening.
Hey, I'll just add it to my list of contact. It's growing.
Yes.
It's growing at
Perfect.
this rate. So
Perfect. No, I seriously enjoyed the conversation so much. And again, thank you and to everybody else on your team for everything that you guys do. It's uh
yeah.
it's very appreciated. So
Well, if you like this interview here, if you're listening, please stay tuned as we still have some more other great teams coming up as well, much like Sioux Falls here and other content on Spotify and YouTube. So, as always, follow, like, and subscribe if you like this content. And if you like us, you can talk with us directly on Discord or follow me on Blue Sky. So, appreciate everyone for tuning in today's episode and interview. Thank you again, Taylor, for the 57 plus minutes that we've done this, and always happy to have you on the show. That is it. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in, and we will see you next time. Thank you.